Okay, I'd like to welcome everyone to the January 11th, 2021 Planning Board hearing for the town of Brookhaven. I'd like to do a board roll call at this time. Mr. Zarcone?
Present.
Ms. Kelly is not present. Mr. Walutis?
Present.
Ms. Dunn?
Present.
Mr. Smith?
Present.
Mr. Rose?
Present.
And I'm Vincent Pascal. I'm present. We also have with us counsel to the Planning Board, Ms. Lee Raitt, Commissioner of the Planning Department, Ms. Beth Riley, and Secretary to the Planning Board, Ms. Eileen McCann. Eileen, are you there?
Yes.
Are there any items on the agenda that will not be heard this afternoon?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Item number 10, American Region expansion at Shirley will be held until March 22nd, 2021. And also number 11, Brixmore SPE 4LP pad site at Port Chef Station is going to be held until January 25th, 2021.
All right, thank you. Lee, you want to?
Chairman, can I just?
Yeah, I was going to say, Lee, go ahead and make your comment.
Yes, if anyone's here to speak, please let me know what matter you were here for, what number it is on the agenda, and whether you're here from the public or as a representative for the applicant. And also, Matt Sabatello, I am not a sponsor on this, and I cannot get into let people in.
Yep, I'll do it right now for you. You're now all set up.
Are you good, Lee? Are you on, Lee? Lee?
Yes, I am. I'm on. I think I can get people in. Thank you.
Okay. All right, we'll start with item number 1. It's a relief for covenant, Elliott Estates, lot number 2 at Ridge.
The property is located at 5 Patrick Lane in Ridge. Survey submitted indicates current clearing at 43.6%. Parcel is located within the Central Pine Barrens Core Preservation Area, but was created prior to June 1st, 1993, and is considered non-development. The parcel is approximately 32,109 square feet and is currently zoned A2 residential. The Division of Environmental Protection has no objection to an increase in clearing limits based on similar approvals for parcels within the Elliott Estates subdivision. A clearing limit of 53% would be consistent with clearing limit standards for lots of this size within the Pine Barrens. Recommendations last dated 12/3/2020, allowance of a clearing limit increase from 40% to 53%, submitted amended covenants and final survey prior to recording.
Thank you, Commissioner. Is the applicant present?
Give me just a moment. If someone is here for number 1, I don't see them at this time. If they could raise their hand.
It looks like Amy Woodhull is on this one. I mean, Amy from Woodhull.
Yes, I'm looking for her.
Jean Kessel.
Okay, because something like this, we need to see them. They also have to have the certified receipts from the postal service.
All right, that's why I was looking. Oh, there's Amy. Got it.
Beth, how are we handling the return receipts from the postal certified letters? How is Kylie getting those?
We've been they either tell us we have it or we make it a condition.
Okay.
Hi everybody.
There you go.
Hi.
Sorry, technical difficulties.
Can you raise your right hand, please? Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
I do.
Okay. Do you have the certified return receipts from the postal service?
Yes, I emailed the affidavit of mailing and copies of all the receipts to Eileen earlier today, and the original documents are actually en route to the town of Brookhaven lobby as we speak.
Okay, thank you. All right. Did you receive a copy of the staff recommendations?
I did, yes.
And do you have any questions on those?
I do not. We agree with the staff recommendations.
Okay, thank you. Is there anyone in the public on this one, Lee?
No.
No? Okay, any board members have questions?
No.
Okay, can I have a motion?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, this is Steve Walutis. I make a motion to close this public hearing and place it on the decision calendar.
Motion by Mr. Walutis,
This is Board Member Pete Zarcone. I'll second that motion.
second by Mr. Zarcone. Ms. Dunn,
Aye.
Mr. Smith,
Aye.
Mr. Rose?
Aye.
The chair votes aye. Motion carries 6-0. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good night.
You too. Item number 2 is the land division of Fairmont Avenue, lot 1 through 5 at Medford.
The applicant requests to eliminate all existing covenants on the land division formerly known as Fairmont Avenue at Medford, lot number 2001-29 LD. The properties are split zoned A5 and A1. There are currently 4 buildable lots. The property is located outside of the Pine Barrens and all state and local critical environmental areas. Due to the fact that the 2001 land division was never effectuated, the planning division recommends allowance to eliminate covenants and restrictions related to that 2001-29 LD land division on library page 12175, page 533, and submit a certified copy of the amended covenants. So there's 2 staff recommendations, last dated 11/23/2020.
Thank you, Commissioner. Is the applicant present?
Yes, I have someone on for the applicant.
Yes, hi, Peter Oniatis. I'm the owner.
Hi, Mr. Arenell. I can't see you yet. Do you have video?
It should be on here. Here I am. You see me?
Okay, can you raise your right hand, please?
Yes,
Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
I do.
Okay, have you received a copy of staff recommendations?
Yes, I have.
And you have questions or concerns on any of those recommendations?
No, not at this time.
And you're in agreement with them?
Yes, I am.
Is there anything you want to add to this?
Not at this time, no.
Okay, is there anyone in the public wish to speak on this, Lee?
Yes, there is. Just give me one moment. I have a few people here. Okay, I have a Mr. Outson coming in. Mr. Outson, are you on? Just give me a moment. I have 2 people here with comments in. If they don't want to speak on the record, I can read those comments in. Brian Outson is a homeowner of property at Fairmont Avenue, number 2. It seems the paperwork included here is saying that we are removing covenants because these covenants were technically never put in place. How is that a mistake, now forcing the homeowners to deal with construction noise and building behind my home? Let me see if the other people want to come in. Just give me a moment. Mr. Tom Walsh is coming in.
Yes, I'm here for Shirley. I think number 9. Sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, just a moment. Bear with me, Mr. Chairman. I have to click on the different spots to get people in.
Okay.
And then it says James and Chris. I'm going to put them in. Okay, are you on? I don't know, Mr. Chairman. They said, what are they going to do with the land? But they're not appearing on the screen.
Okay, is that the only one? Is there anyone else wants to speak? I'll let the applicant answer that when we're finished.
I mean, there's a lot of people asking questions, but not coming on the screen. Someone has asked, what exactly are we talking about as far as building, if any? Does this affect the rear of 11 Kennedy Avenue?
Okay, Mr. Arenati, are you taking these notes down so you can answer the questions, the concerns?
And that's it.
That's it. Mr. Arenado?
Yeah, I was just muted. I'm writing some of these down now. Can you just repeat that one? There was Kennedy Avenue. I'm not familiar exactly where that's located.
How does this affect the rear of 11 Kennedy Avenue? And there's a question asking, what are you doing with the land?
It doesn't.
Beth, is there a proposed plan? We're relieving the covenants, but is there something that shows?
Have that up on the screen.
Yeah,
I'm gonna bring that up. But again, that's not before us. That's an application that they would be making to the Board of Appeals. The only thing that's on before us today is to relieve the covenants from a land division that was never effectuated.
Okay. Counselors, want to move forward on this, Counselor?
But we are not seeing or considering the proposed plan. That is just for information.
right.
Most of the questions are asking, how is this going to affect the property owners that surround the property? And I guess if I'm hearing this correctly, at this point in time, it doesn't affect anybody at this point in time because there's no development proposed. This is to take off old covenants that are moot at this point and not relevant to the current zoning. It has been upzoned, the property, in the meantime. So this, at this point, if we remove the covenants, the property owner would be able to come in with a new plan of development, in which case they come back in front of the board again with a development plan that we would be able to comment on.
All right, thank you.
But in the meantime, I do want to stress that parts of this property that were zoned 1 acre zoning are now 5 acre zoning.
Yes, I'm familiar with the A5.
Which is this parcel right here. That's 5 acres.
But that's going to stay the same.
Correct. The zoning is A5.
Does the board have any questions? Seeing none, can I have a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to close this public hearing and place the matter on the decision calendar.
Motion by Ms. Dunn,
Second, Richard Smith.
second by Mr. Smith. Mr. Zarcone,
I vote aye.
Mr. Walutis,
Aye.
Mr. Rose,
Aye.
chair votes aye. Motion carries 6-0. Thank you. Item number 3 is miscellaneous matters, McDonald's at Miller Place.
The proposal is to repair a facade to an existing McDonald's located at 340 Route 25A in Miller Place that was damaged due to a vehicle hitting the building. The applicant proposes to repair and slightly alter the westerly elevation caused by the damage. The existing vestibule and gable roof above will be removed, and the existing interior doors will be altered to make them weather tight. The bay window closest to the front of the building on the westerly elevation will be changed to a straight storefront window. And it should be noted that a full remodel is planned in the future. The town board granted a change of zone to J Business 5 with a special permit for major restaurant with accessory drive-through with the August 13th, 2020 public hearing. An application has not been made effective yet, and a condition of that approval was to come back before this board with a site plan. So you will be seeing this again in the future. There are 7 staff recommendations, last dated 12/3/2020.
Is the applicant present?
Yes.
I am.
Okay. Is he on?
Yes, he's on.
Can you hear me?
We have someone on.
Yes, okay. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
I do.
Okay, have you received a copy of staff recommendations?
Yes, I have.
You have questions, concerns, or any,
Nope.
nothing? You want to add anything? What the car hit the building or?
Yeah, just right on the side of the non-drive-through side of the building. There was a vestibule that it hit, so it's just so damaged that, as Beth stated, we're going to come back in probably in a couple of months with another application. So it's just easier to remove this for the time being.
Okay, Counselor, is there anyone in the public wish to speak on this?
No.
Okay, board members have any questions?
No.
May I have a motion?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, this is Stephen Walutis. I make a motion to close this public hearing and place it on the decision calendar.
Motion by Mr. Walutis,
This is Board Member Pete Zarcone. I'll second that motion.
second by Mrs. Zarcone. Ms. Dunn? Ms. Dunn? Mr. Smith?
Aye.
Mr. Rose?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Ms. Dunn? Ms. Dunn's not present. Motion carries 5-0. Thank you.
Maybe she lost her connection.
Could be. All right, so that's approved 5-0. Item number 4, Manor Court Subdivision at Mount Sinai.
Mr. Chairman,
The property is located on the west side of Mount Sinai Quorum Road, 123 feet north of Plymouth Avenue in Mount Sinai. The applicant has requested a waiver of the installation of the required 120 linear feet of curbing along the frontage of Mount Sinai Quorum Road. Staff recommends approval of the request and a payment in lieu of in the amount of $5,160. Staff recommendations are last dated 12/15/2020.
Thank you. Is
before
the
you
applicant?
continue, Mr. Chairman, Karen Dunn did lose connection. That's why she's not on.
Okay. Is the applicant present on this, council?
Yes, Mr. Strauss is here.
Mr. Chairman, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Hi.
Counselor, how are you?
How are you? 907 Main Street, Port Jefferson, representing the applicant.
Okay. Have you received a copy of the staff recommendations, Counselor?
I actually haven't. I just have the memorandum from Jermaine Ortiz recommending the payment of $5,160 in lieu of installation of the curbing.
Okay, is that the correct amount, Lee? I don't have the note in front of me.
It is, Mr. Chairman.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Is there anything else on this, Counselor Strauss?
Not that I know of, Mr. Chairman. We're fine with that.
Okay. Is there anyone in the public?
No, there's no one.
Okay. Any questions by the board? May I have a motion?
Mr. Chairman, this is Board Member John Rose. I make a motion to close this public hearing and place the matter on the decision calendar.
Motion by Mr. Rose,
Second, Richard Smith.
second by Mr. Smith. Mr. Zarcone,
I vote aye.
Mr. Walutis.
Aye.
Is Ms. Dunn back? Or
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Aye.
Okay. Chair votes aye. Motion carries 6-0. Thank you, Counselor.
Thank you. Be well.
Okay, item number 5, Meadows at Yaphank, Shops at the Boulevard.
Property is located on the northwest corner of the LIE and William Floyd Parkway in Tank. This is the site that is containing the proposed Walmart. The applicant requests modification of the approved elevations for color and signage changes to match Walmart's new design. Staff recommends approval of the revised elevation, and the staff recommendations are last revised 12/15/20. So I have up the proposed elevations, and if you'd like, I can just let me know. I can put up what was approved.
You could put them in the meantime. Is the applicant presently?
Yes. Brian Ferrigari is here.
Yes, good evening, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. Brian Ferrigari for the applicant, Rose Bryson Associates, 1 the Boulevard, Yonkers, New York.
Mr. Ferrigari, are you a counsel? Are you a lawyer?
No, I'm not.
Okay, please raise your right hand. You swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes, I do.
Okay, go ahead. You can present your application.
Okay, thank you. With me this evening.
Oh, no, he's frozen.
I can't hear.
He lost connection.
I hope virtually is architects. And can you hear me?
Well, can you start at the beginning? You're breaking up, or we lost everything you've said up to this point.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Okay. Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, Brian Ferrajari for the applicant, Rose Breslin Associates, 1 Executive Boulevard, Yonkers, New York. With me this evening is Brad Kern from MMA Architects. MMA prepared the revisions to the design package for Walmart that are the subject of this application tonight. Brad is available to answer any questions you might have after the presentation. The revisions we are seeking are minor in nature and do not involve any changes to the building footprint, the proposed uses, or architectural style. The revisions simply reflect Walmart's new exterior branding with respect to color and signage. With regard to color, the most prominent revision is the change in the pickup area color from orange to the Walmart blue. The remaining color updates utilize the same color palette that was originally approved in the site plan application. As for signage, the most noticeable revision involves the updated Walmart and Spark sign. The new design reduces the size of the Walmart name and makes the branded Walmart Spark logo more prominent. Overall, there is a reduction in square footage of the signage with the new design package. As you review the visuals of the new design package, I think you will agree that they are substantially consistent with the approved design and are in keeping with the overall design character of the Meadows at Yaphank PDD. This concludes my presentation. Brad and I are available to answer any questions you might have. Thank you.
Okay, is this going to be the new design for all new Walmarts, or are they going to go and refurbish all the existing corporate signs now?
I don't know if, all I know is that this new design is going to be used on the new Walmart in Yaphank. I'm not sure if this is something that they intend on carrying through their other stores. I believe it would be, but I'm not 100% sure.
Okay.
I can speak to that if he's available.
All right. Is there anyone in the public, Counselor?
No, Mr. Chairman.
No. Any board members have questions?
No.
No questions by the board? See on that? May I have a motion?
Mr. Chairman, Board Member Karen Dunn, I'd like to make a motion to close this public hearing and place the matter on the decision calendar.
Motion to close by Ms. Dunn,
Second, Richard Smith.
second by Mr. Smith. Mr. Zarpone,
I vote aye.
Mr. Walutis,
Aye.
Mr. Rose.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Motion carries 6-0. Thank you, sir. Item number 6, Sonic Restaurant at Shirley Plaza.
Property is located at 800 Montauk Highway in Shirley, New York. Property is zone J Business 2, and the lot area is 12.186 acres. The applicant requests a minor modification to the dimensions and tilt angle of the approved canopies to accommodate solar panels, and minor changes to the parking layout under the canopy areas for the site plan application of the Sonic Restaurant. Staff recommends approval of the request to modify the approved site plan and elevations to the following. Approval of the revised site plan prepared, and then there's the name of the name and the date of the plans, and the staff recommendations are last dated December 28th, 2020.
Thank you, Commissioner. Is the applicant present?
Yes,
Okay.
he's in as a panelist. The applicant is in as Bob F.
That's me, but actually it's Tom Walsh.
Oh, okay. Tom, you're on mute. Just give me a moment, please.
Okay.
If someone is here for an application and they have not let me know what they're here for, would you please put it in the comments? All right, I think Tom Walsh I have let in.
Hi, Lee. Tom Walsh
Hi.
here.
Good afternoon, Mr. Walsh. Can you please raise your right hand? You swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
I do.
Okay, Mr. Walsh.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman. Thomas Walsh from Joseph T. Matthews and Associates Architects on behalf of the applicant. The planning board obviously probably remembers this project, and we're just coming back to the board to document the fact that instead of the canopies at the drive-in spaces being a flat canopy, we are proposing that they be tilted 10 degrees in the westerly direction towards the side street to incorporate the solar panel design, which is going to be actually acting as the roof of these canopies. Instead of a flat canopy with tilted solar panels, the solar panels are actually going to be the roof structure of these canopies. It's a 10-degree tilt, minor in nature, but we just wanted to be clear before that application gets filed that the elevations that are approved by the planning board match what ultimately gets submitted by the solar canopy contractors down the road. In addition, there were some very minor changes, adjustments to the parking underneath the canopies themselves. But that's essentially the change. And like I said, we just wanted to be sure before we get into the building departments that the elevations match what's the ultimate intent.
Mr. Walsh, let me ask you a question. Do you see what we're looking at, the elevations, the top elevation?
Yes, I can.
The front of the building, which way is that facing?
The front of the building is facing due north. The large triangular canopy is facing Montauk Highway.
Okay, so the south port is the one with the ladder. That's facing the south port of the shopping center, correct?
That is correct, yes.
Okay.
Internal to the shopping center, correct.
All right, but the front of the building is actually facing north.
That is correct.
Okay. Council, is there anybody in the public who wish to speak on this?
No.
No?
There's
Any board members have questions? May I have a
You-
motion?
I do have one question. The canopy for the outside seating, is that going to also have solar panels?
No, the canopies at the drive-ins are the only two with the solar.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions by the board?
No.
May I have a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to close this public hearing and place the matter on the decision calendar.
Motion to close by Ms. Dunn,
Second, Richard Smith.
second by Mr. Smith. Mr. Zarcone,
I vote aye.
Mr. Walutis,
I vote aye.
Mr. Rose,
Aye.
chair votes aye. Motion carries 6-0. Thank you, Mr. Walsh.
Thank you very much.
Okay, item number 7, Crest Wisconsin LLC Medical.
Property is located on northwest corner of New York State Route 347 and William Street, in Jefferson Station. It's Zone J Business 2. The applicant requests a facade alteration and a change of use from a shuttered automobile dealership, the old Lincoln Mercury, to a New York Cancer and Blood Specialist office and a vacant medical space. Staff recommends approval of the change of use and facade alteration subject to 7 staff recommendations, last dated 11/19/2020.
Thank you, Commissioner. The applicant present?
Yes, I have just let the applicant in. Mr. Caffrey?
Yes, I'm here. Thank you.
Mr. Caffrey, are you a lawyer?
Yes, I am. I'm in-house counsel for the applicant.
Okay, Counselor, go ahead. Have you received a copy of the staff recommendations?
Yes, we have. I just wanted to, there's really not much more to add other than what Ms. Riley had to say. I just wanted to point out that we did previously get approval for 1 medical suite in this building. So the only difference now is that we're seeking approval for 2 suites, which would occupy the entire building.
Okay. Lee, is there any?
I thought that the application was a building permit for one of the spaces, and you're increasing that, so you're gonna have to come in for a building permit to increase that space?
I'm sorry, to increase which space?
I think you have a current building permit for a certain amount of square footage for the New York Cancer and Blood. It's my understanding that this application allows you to increase that.
Correct. The New York Cancer and Blood space was originally was going to be 4,300, but now it's going to be, the two spaces are almost going to be exactly half and half of the building.
Yes.
It's going to be a little bigger than that. That's correct.
Lee, is there anyone in the public?
No, Mr. Chairman.
Board have any questions on this application?
Yeah, I have a question. This is Steve Walutis. Reading through the paperwork, I saw something about a Starbucks drive-through.
That's on a different portion of the site. There's a there's a pad site where we're previously approved for a change of zone to J Business 5 with a permit for major restaurant and an accessory permit for a drive-through. But that's a separate building on and it's not part of this application. That's
Not part of this application, and it's a separate building?
It will be a separate building, and there's a separate application pending for that.
Okay, I was a little confused. Thank you.
Yep.
Any other questions by the board?
Just one more, Mr. Chairman. This is Richard Smith. This originally came in as a walk-in medical care, correct? Originally?
3 or 4 years ago, when it was first approved, I believe at that time our intended tenant was going to be a city MD, and then city MD backed out, and now it's the New York Cancer and Blood.
And this has no affiliation with the other blood medical center that's further west on 347?
I'm not familiar with which one you're referring to.
But this is its own separate entity.
It is, yes.
Okay, all right.
No, isn't this the same New York Cancer and Blood Center that's on the one on 347 on Woodhall?
I'm not sure what you mean when you say is it the same center? I don't think they're relocating. I think they're opening another location.
Right, but it's the same business.
Thank you, Beth. That was my question.
Yeah, it's the same company.
What I said was, is this affiliated with it?
Oh, I'm sorry. I believe it's the same company. They have many locations, but they're not relocating from that other space on 347.
I didn't think so. Thank you.
Any other questions by the board? May I have a motion?
This is Steve Walutis. Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to close this public hearing and place it on the decision calendar.
Motion to close by Mr. Walutis,
Board Member Pete Zarcone, I'll second that motion.
second by Mr. Zarcone. Ms. Dunn,
Aye.
Mr. Smith,
Aye.
Mr. Rose,
Aye.
chair votes aye. Motion carries 6-0. Thank you, Counselor.
Thank you very much.
Okay, we're going to open items number 8 and 9 together. Sunrise Highway and Belport Station Road at Belport and BJ's Gas Station at Belport.
Application number 8 is for a land division for the property located on the southwest corner of Sunrise Highway, South Service Road and Belport Station Road in Belport. It's a 2-lot land division. Lot 1 being 1.639 acres, Zone J5, and Lot 2 is 3.228 acres, Zoned J2. That's what's up on the screen right now. The second application is for the site plan. Site plan application is for a BJ's gas station in conjunction with the existing BJ's Warehouse Club. To construct a 176 square foot kiosk building and 6 pump stations as a part of that motor vehicle fueling station, which is for club members only, and typical associated site improvements. For number 8, you have 6 staff recommendations, last dated 11/24/2020. And for number 9, you have 9 staff recommendations, last dated 11/25/2020.
Thank you, Commissioner. Is the applicant present?
Yes, there are several people in for the application.
Okay.
Good afternoon, J. Timothy Shea Jr., so Tillman Ballin, 100 Motor Parkway, Hapog, New York, for the applicant.
Afternoon, Counselor.
I'm doing okay, but I am positive for that COVID thing. So I am quarantining with my boys who are all COVID positive.
Put your mask on before you're talking to the mic.
Yeah, I think you're safe there, Mr. Pascal.
I think the beard is what did it. Go ahead.
I didn't have the beard when I got it. I shaved it off. I think the beard was keeping me safe.
Okay, that's enough, Tim. Go ahead.
Okay. Okay. Yes, the property in question is located. Brady, I'm on the hearing. Yes.
Leave it to Shay.
I apologize. The property in question is on the southwest corner of the South Service Road of Sunrise Highway, just west of Station Road in Bellport. Subject property is approximately 5 acres in size, and after hopefully a land division is granted, 3 acres and change will remain with the Royal Oak Diner, which is on the right side of your site plan and which is on the actual corner of the South Service Road and Station Road. The proposed BJ's gas station is going to be between the Royal Oak Diner and the existing BJ's Supercenter. There would be cross access among the 3 parcels so that people could enter and exit through any of the 3. The gas station would be member only. You'd have to be a member of BJ's in order to utilize the gas pumps. There are no convenience stores on this. It's simply gas pumps and a small kiosk area to service people who are in need of help. On April 11th, 2019, the town board granted the change of zone application for the gas station part of the parcel to J5, together with special permit and waivers for the gas station use. They were also incorporated certain covenants and restrictions into that approval, which were filed by the applicant. These include 70 feet of vegetation along Sunrise Highway being replanted where needed with native vegetation, 125-foot rear yard vegetated area along the back of the property, which abuts Martha Avenue. So there will be added vegetation in that area that historically has just been a old dilapidated parking lot. And also the covenant required the cross-access agreement, which is one of the conditions of approval. The site plans have incorporated all of those. Hold on one second, buddy. Almost done. Have incorporated all of those elements. And in September of 2020, the Board of Appeals granted an arterial highway setback for the 70 feet where 100 is required, and a number of sign variances which are reflected in the sign package that is part of this application.
Tim, the sign packages are in the how many, is that just one variance, right?
There were actually a few variances. What ended up happening is that there was an existing BJ's. You'll see the big BJ's sign that is on Sunrise Highway already. By changing the lettering, they had to add the gasoline price area. And even though the CO for the CO for the sign is 500 feet, and we reduced it, a variance was required just to add that language. So even though the sign is now, I think, 280 square feet, but it required a variance because of the change of the language and the adding of the gasoline pricing, which is required under federal law. The other variance that was granted was to move the existing Royal Oak Diner sign because it's on the portion of the parcel that is being part of the is going to be part of the gas station, and you can't advertise for a business that is not on the property proper. So that sign is being relocated to the new Royal Oak property line, inside that property line, after the land division would be effectuated so as to be in compliance with town code. Again, the relocation did require variances from the BZA. And then the last variances were with regard to the square footage of the canopy logo signs. We came to an agreement with the BZA to reduce those, but a variance was granted, I think, at 16 feet per sign, rather than we had asked for 20, and I think 12 is the maximum.
Okay, Tim, thank you. But for the planning board, this meeting tonight, you really just have a single variance associated with this site plan.
That is correct.
Another question, the BJ's, the way it is now, is staying the same, so that piece of property or the subdivision that you're making is just out of the diner property.
Correct. The diner property itself, yes. And then there'll be cross access between the existing BJ's, the gas station, and the future Royal Oak property, which will be a smaller piece of 3 acres.
And it's still going to leave that area where the old parking lot was or whatever. That's not going to be used anymore, or it never was being used, right?
Behind the gas station, that's going to be revegetated.
So
there's areas that was all beat up old parking. If you see proposed, you see that to your left, yeah, a little bit more left. Below the, yeah, right there, right below the gas station. All that area is being replanted with native vegetation.
Yeah.
All of the asphalt will be ripped up from the old parking lot and replaced with seed and lawn.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Is there any other color on elevations that are on this canopy, or is it just the color on the signs?
I don't know if, let's see, gas station, BZA, grant letters, aerial. Off the top of my head, I'm looking at your computer file, and I can't say for sure. But they are consistent with what's already there. The BJ sign itself is still red and white. The sign itself for BJ's has been reduced in size, and the LED gas station pricing was added with regard to the sign, and with regard to the, yeah, you can see there on the, if you look at that, on the left-hand side of the top one is the BJ's gas logo, and then there's another one on the back elevation on the right.
Yeah, but my question, Tim, is that the red BJ's sign with the gas, is that on a silver background, or are they going to put some other type of color on that entire
It's on
canopy?
a light gray background.
Mr. Robinson, I need you to be sworn in before you go to speak. Please, you swear affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Yeah, that same plan, right? The legend here talks about an anodized, which is a silver gray background.
Okay, so that's the color we're looking at.
That's
It's
the
the
color.
gray.
What you see in the renderings, the color.
Okay, let's make sure we're approving is what we're seeing. Okay, is there any questions by the board? Is anyone in the public on this one, Lee? Councilor Reed?
I'm sorry, say that
No,
again?
Mr. Chairman, there are none.
There are none. Okay, is there any questions by the board? May I have a motion?
Mr. Chairman, make a motion to close this public hearing and place the matter on the decision calendar.
Motion to close by Mr. Smith.
Second.
I was gonna say second by Tim's son, but second by Ms. Dunn. Second by Ms. Dunn.
This is Karen.
I got you, Karen. Second by Ms. Dunn. Mr. Zarcone?
I vote aye.
Yep.
Mr. Walutis?
I vote aye.
Mr. Rose?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Motion carries 6-0. Thank you, Counselor.
Mr. Chairman,
Thank
that
you
motion
all.
was
Brady, say goodbye. Say bye.
Bye, bye.
Bye.
Aye.
Mr. Chairman, that motion was for both 8 and 9.
Both aye, 8 and 9. Karen, I thought Tim's son seconded the motion, but you jumped in time. Item number 10.
Uh-oh. Hold on just a second. I accidentally removed the chairman. Give me one moment.
Step up, Steve.
Give me the gavel.
We've been waiting for a long time, Lee.
Vinny, unmute, Vinny. I accidentally,
That was intentional, Lee, I know.
You're
working with Beth too much.
I was gonna make my motion without Vinny.
Hey, I've been thrown out of better places.
On number 10, I'll make a motion to set this matter for a date certain of
Well,
March
no,
20.
we're not at that point yet.
Oh, okay, sorry.
So that's going to be held on March 22nd. Item number 11 is January 25th. Item number 12, Corinne Court Estates at Medford's preliminary subdivision with a cluster treatment.
The project is located on the west side of Old Medford Avenue, 262 feet south of Katy Drive in Medford. It's got a lot area of 15 acres and is zoned A Residence 1. Proposal is for 13 single-family homes, 13 lots. The lot areas range from 20,000 square feet to 50,000 square feet. The applicant requests a preliminary subdivision to divide a 15-acre parcel into 13 using a cluster design.
Thank you, Commissioner.
The approval of the preliminary subdivision design subject to covenants and restrictions as well as staff conditions. And there are 26 staff conditions, last dated 12/10/2020.
Thank you. Counselor, is anyone, the applicant present?
yes, I have Tom Pellegrino and Chris Debate.
Is Mr. Pellegrino attorney?
I am not.
Okay, please raise your right hand. Can you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
I do.
Okay, have you received a copy of the staff recommendations?
I believe Mr. Lebate will be presenting this case.
Okay, is he available?
He
Chris,
should.
you just need to unmute.
Mr. Bate, are you there?
Yes.
Okay, I can't see you, but I need you to raise your right hand. Let me know when you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you
hear me?
God? Yes.
I do.
You do, okay.
Mr. Chairman, members of the, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, members of the board, my name is Chris LeBay of the firm Lab Crew Engineering, located at 273 Hawkins Avenue. What we have here is an application that started back in 2008 for an 8-lot subdivision. On behalf of the applicant, this project has doubled in size and has continued to grow for quite a while, so that's why it's been in the process for so long. The applicant and his wife have lived in the neighborhood for over 30 years. They have friends and family, and they've put this design together with local neighbors and friends. They've reached out to all adjoining parcels and have spoken to several surrounding neighbors. And we've discussed this thoroughly with staff for quite a number of years. We have health approval pending, just SEQA approval from the town, and we do have SWIP approval. I've gone through all the conditions on it. I've spoken with the client's attorney. We don't really have any questions pending any of the staff recommendations. We'd like to keep this pretty simple. If the board has questions, I'd like to try and answer them at this time.
All right, we'll go after the public. Are there any affordable portions on this application proposed?
Yes, there is one required to be affordable.
Okay. Counselor, are there any participants in the public?
Yes.
Counselor? Lee, is there anyone in the public?
Yes,
Oh.
there are people here from the public. I have a few people from the public. Let me bring them in one at a time. I have Diane Shaw.
Let me know when she's in.
Diane Shaw, I have you in the meeting. You'd like to speak?
Yes. Hello, you hear us?
Hello?
Yes, do you hear us?
Yeah, I could hear you. I can't see you.
All right, we'll start the video. Okay, I have a question.
Can you please raise your right hand?
Sure.
Are you both going to speak?
Yes.
Please, all right, raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes, I do.
We do.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, I have a quote. What's the lot sizes on these lots here? Because I can't see on this screen here.
Well, I'll let the applicant, but what I see on the screen is 20,000 square feet. But I'll let the applicant address all the concerns once the questions are asked.
The name of the gentleman who's speaking? I know we
William Shao.
need the gentleman.
It's,
And
I'm sorry, repeat that?
yeah, my question is, okay, we got,
Can we just get your name?
yeah, William
William.
Shao, SCHALL.
Thank you.
Okay, and what variances are they going for? Obviously, a lot size is a variance, but what else?
It's a proposed cluster subdivision. It's not really a variance.
I was going to let him finish his questions first, and we'll address it.
Yeah, because my question is that most of the lot sizes around here are acres plus. And these are half acres.
Was also cluster treatment. Is that, those are the 2 or 3 questions you're asking, sir?
Okay, and then I have another question is, okay, from what I see here, it looks like it's gonna be a cul-de-sac. And what kind of homes are we talking about that are going here? As far as size and, you know, square footage and things like that?
Okay. So I'll let the applicant address it after the public speaks, ask all the questions, okay?
Very good, thank you.
Thank you. Lee, I'll bring the next public participant in. Mr. LeBate, are you writing these questions down?
I have Charles Hoffman.
Here.
Mr. Hoffman has his.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Do you have video?
I have the camera on. I'm raising my hand. I will swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Well, let me ask you now. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes, I do. And I'm sorry, this is my first time through, so please.
That's okay. We can hear you. I can't see you.
The first time I'm seeing this site plan. I was not aware that this started back in 2008, and I have not been contacted about a development being put in directly across the street from my house. So I have a concern about traffic on Old Medford Avenue, which is just about as busy as Route 112 these days. And I'd like to know why we wouldn't have this development exit on Cedar that has much less traffic. I'm also concerned about cluster building. Will this give the applicant the opportunity to build additional structures on the common areas at a later date? I'm concerned about demolition of the existing house on that property because it's old enough to have asbestos. I'd like to know that that's going to be handled the proper way and disposed of properly. Is this going to affect my property taxes? And I'd also like to know why it's not being held to 1 acre parcels.
Those are your questions, sir?
Well, I do have another one too. I mean, there's a paper street adjoining this property by the name of Poplar. And if it can't exit or enter on Cedar, why can't it be exited on, this paper street, not directly in front of my home?
Where is the paper street?
There's a paper street Poplar there. I don't see it on the map, but it's on your tax maps. Was that property purchased by somebody before this has been submitted that I'm not aware of? See, I'm directly across the street and Poplar's on my side. I pay higher taxes because I'm on a corner piece of property.
Okay, well, I'll find out from the applicant when he comes back on.
All right, I think that's all the wife was really concerned about.
Okay, what was the name of that paper street?
Poplar.
Poplar.
Poplar. I'm sorry, Poplar Lane.
Okay. Is there anyone else in the public?
Yes, I have one more. Let's see. I have Mr. Dabrowski.
Are they in yet?
Yes, Mr. Dabrowski, do you wish to speak? You're in the meeting.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I'll hit the video thing too if you want to see. I don't know if it's going to work.
We got you. Okay, can you raise your right hand, please? Do you
Sure.
swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes, I do.
Okay, go ahead. You can speak on the application.
Okay. Sort of reiterating what my neighbor, Mr. Hoffman, said. This is the first I've heard of the proposals. I've been a resident here for almost 26 years, and I'm a neighbor to the previous owner across the street, and I never heard of this before. The concerns I had was the same about where it's exiting and why can't it exit on the paper street as opposed to Old Medford, because Old Medford now is basically 112 in North Ocean with the amount of traffic ever since they made the underpass on the expressway. And I wanted to know about the cluster houses, whether or not they're going to be on each parcel. Is it going to be one single family home, or is it going to be a multiple of townhouses per lot? Because I know, like you said, it's supposed to be, everybody's supposed to have an acre of land. And on a silly note, if I wanted to live next to townhouses, I would have bought it. That's why I moved where I moved, to live across the street from a farm for 26 years. And what's the last one? Oh, and on the open spaces that he's proposing for the rest, is that always going to be open space, or is that for future development down the road?
I doubt there'll be any future development, but I'll let the applicant address that as well as the council.
All right, and that's basically it. Whatever, I'm like reiterating what my neighbor said.
Okay, fine. All right, well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Anyone else, Lee?
No, that's it. Just let me get everyone. Chris, just before you start, let me make sure I have everybody where they need to be. Okay.
All right, bring the applicants back in. We'll
Okay.
address the questions.
I believe the first question was the size of the lots. It's a 15-acre parcel that yields 15-acre, 1-acre lots. And obviously in the design with time, we're doing a cluster in which we will dedicate 8 acres, which will stay open space, the town. It will not be developed. There will be a retention in the retention pond in the middle in the natural vegetated area, which is the low area of the site. The design of the property was done with Poplar being abandoned and the design coming off Old Medford. That site was previously, I believe, a horse farm, and it was already cleared. In keeping with the design and the topography of the property and the design, the retention area works better in the low area and keeping all the natural vegetation and natural area, again, to be dedicated to remain open space.
Mr. LeBate,
Another question.
Mr. LeBate, can I ask you a question? The paper street that you say you're abandoning, was that owned by a separate owner as well, or is that owned by the current applicant, the paper street?
We had to reach out. It was owned on a separate file map, and as you can see the arrow around it, yes. We have it's being processed to be abandoned. Actually, I'm sorry, I believe it has been abandoned.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Okay. It has been abandoned and been filed. I don't know if it's finalized though. I do have to check with the attorney. As far as variances, this design requires no variances. The houses will be single-family dwellings, approximately 2,500 to 3,500 square feet. As far as any asbestos or issues with the demolition, obviously appropriate permits will be required and will be handled at such time to the removal of the existing structures. Single family, 8 acres.
I think one of the main concerns was the ingress egress.
Yes, the design was taken up, we discussed it with traffic and highway, and a study was not required. We are adding, as you can see, 12 units there. It will be a minimal, impact in traffic. I understand that the neighbors across the street have spoken with the applicant. There were concerns about headlights shining off, coming off Carina Court. My client has discussed it with the homeowners across the street. I'm sorry if it's not the same ones that are here now. I understood that the applicant went around talking to everybody, and there were several predecessors before me on this. These applications go back a while, and I'm not sure who was officially notified going back all these years, since this project has doubled in size. I do know that the applicant has spoken with several of the neighbors. I can't speak for who or which ones, but I do know that he has spoken with the adjoining neighbor directly across from Carina Court, and has offered to do landscaping, anything to help with the headlight situation for that personal property. As far as the design, again, that was discussed with the town, that Poplar Avenue was to be abandoned, and that this would be a better design layout to come off Old Medford onto, Carina Estates to come off Old Medford. So that was the general consensus with our design and with the town staff. I believe I answered all the questions. Is there anything else that I can answer?
Can I ask a question, Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
I see there's, Chris, there's 12 of the lots is to the right. The 13th lot all the way to the left on the top right there. And in the middle is the retention for the water retention, right?
That's correct, Mr. Rose.
And where's
So
the, go ahead, Chris.
I'm sorry. I was just going to say the 13th lot is the applicant's personal dwelling.
Okay.
Is that being demoed or is that staying, Mr. LeBate?
That is staying.
Where's the house that's coming down located?
That's over where the where the new development houses are. In that area, yes.
The eastern portion of that.
Okay, I just having trouble seeing it on this, but okay, thank you, Chris. I appreciate it.
Other questions by the board?
If you bring up the Google, if you bring up an aerial or the Google map, you can see it more clear. That all the natural vegetated area and what's there now. I think that summarizes a little bit better.
So this is the house that's staying on Cedar, correct?
Yes, correct.
And then this is what's being removed up here to the north, correct?
Gotcha.
Correct.
And then this in here is Poplar that is, if it hasn't been abandoned, is going to be abandoned.
Okay.
Correct.
The maps are oriented differently. That's why it looks a little confusing.
Just to clarify, too, with Poplar, it's not the whole road or paper street that would be abandoned. It's just that portion in between the lots that are subject to this application. So for example, some of those people who have this, they may have part of it in their side, in the side of their yard. That will not be abandoned. It's just the portion in between the subject properties.
Oh.
Okay, Chris,
Mr. This is be found is the client's applicant. There should be, I was unable to reach with him today and he's unable to make this meeting for tonight. I'm sure we can send I'm sure you have copies of all the paperwork and applications.
There was a question about, from Mr. Hoffman, if his taxes are gonna go up. This property development shouldn't affect his taxes.
I don't, I can't really speak for that. I don't believe it's
Yeah,
gonna.
it doesn't. And then the other question was, what clustering is, why the parcels aren't 1 acre. That's because when you do a cluster, you determine the yield. On this one, they're getting 13 houses. And then in order to accommodate the open space, which is coming to the town, which will be forever preserved, the current lots that therefore will be smaller.
Okay. Are there any questions by the board? Mr. Lebate, is there anything you want to add before we close this?
No, that's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, may I have a motion, please?
The Chairman, John Rose, board member, will make a motion to close this public hearing and place the matter on the decision calendar.
Motion to close by Mr. Rose,
Second, Richard Smith.
second by Mr. Smith. Mr. Zarcone,
I vote aye.
Mr. Walutis,
Aye.
Ms. Dunn,
Aye.
the chair votes aye. Motion carries 6-0. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Okay, I want to go back to item number 1.
Mr. Chairman, this is Steve Walutis. This is an application to increase the clearing limit from 40% to 52.5%. I make a motion to approve the application subject to staff recommendations 1 to 3 dated 12/3/20 as covenants and conditions of the approval.
Mr. Walutis, we did update the staff recommendations to go to 53%. Is that the motion?
That's correct. That's staff recommendation number 1 to 53%.
Okay, I have a motion by Mr. Walutis,
Second.
Chairman,
Ms. Dunn, second by Ms. Dunn. Mr. Zarcone,
I vote aye.
Mr. Smith,
Aye.
Mr. Rose,
Aye.
chair votes aye. Motion carries 6-0. Land Division of Fairmont Avenue, lots 1 through 5 at Medford.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve this application to remove all covenants and restrictions with 2 staff recommendations last dated November 23rd, 2020 as covenants and conditions of the approval.
Motion by Ms. Dunn,
Second, Richard Smith.
second by Mr. Smith. Mr. Zarcone,
I vote aye.
Mr. Walutis,
Aye.
Mr. Rose,
Aye.
chair votes aye. Motion carries 6-0. McDonald's at Miller Place.
This is Steve Walutis. Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve this application, repair a facade due to vehicular damage, subject to staff recommendations 1 through 7, dated 12/3/20 as covenants and conditions of the approval.
Motion by Mr. Walutis,
I'll second that motion, Pete Zarcone.
second by Mr. Zarcone. Ms. Dunn,
Aye.
Mr. Smith,
Aye.
Mr. Rose,
Aye.
chair votes aye. Motion carries 6-0. Item number 5, the Meadows at Yaphank, shops at the Boulevard.
What, number 4?
Did I miss that? I'm sorry. Item number 4, Manor Court subdivision at Mount Sinai.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, this is John Rose, board member. I will make a motion to approve the applicant's request for a waiver of the installation of the curb along the frontage of Mount Sinai Quorum Road, along with all staff recommendations, actually 1 staff recommendation, last revised 12/15/2020 as covenants and conditions of the approval.
Motion by Mr. Rose,
Second, Richard Smith.
second by Mr. Smith. Mr. Zarcone,
I vote aye.
Mr. Walutis,
Aye.
Ms. Dunn,
Aye.
and chair votes aye. Motion carries 6-0. Okay, item number 5 now, the Meadows at Yaphank, the shops at the Boulevard.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve the request to modify the elevations for color and signage with 1 staff recommendation last dated December 15th, 2020 as covenants and conditions of the approval.
Motion by Ms. Dunn,
Second, Richard Smith.
second by Mr. Smith. Mr. Zarcone,
I vote aye.
Mr. Walutis,
Aye.
Mr. Rose,
Aye.
chair votes aye. Motion carries 6-0. Sonic Restaurant at Shirley Plaza.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve this application for a revised site plan with 1 staff recommendation last revised December 28th, 2020 as covenants and condition of the approval.
Okay, motion by Ms. Dunn,
Second, Richard Smith.
second by Mr. Smith, Mr. Zarcone,
I vote aye.
Mr. Walutis,
Aye.
Mr. Rose.
Aye.
Chair votes aye, motion carries 6-0. Item number 7, Crescent Wisconsin LLC at Medical.
Mr. Chairman, this is Steve Walutis. I move to approve this application for a facade change from a vacant building to 2 medical offices, subject to staff recommendations 1 through 7, last dated November 19th, 2020, as covenants and conditions of the approval.
Motion by Mr. Walutis,
Mr. Chairman, I'll second that motion. This is Pete Zarcone.
second by Mr. Zarcone. Ms. Dunn,
Aye.
Mr. Smith,
Aye.
Mr. Rose.
Aye.
Motion carries 6-0. Chair votes aye. Item number 8, Sunrise Highway and Belport Station Road. I need secret determination.
Mr. Chairman, make a motion for a negative declaration.
Motion for a neg deck by Mr. Smith,
I'll second that motion.
second by Ms. Dunn. Mr. Zarcone,
I vote aye.
Mr. Walutis,
Aye.
Mr. Rose.
I vote aye.
Chair votes aye. Motion carries 6-0 for a neg deck.
Chairman, make a further motion to approve this land division with staff recommendations numbered 1 through 6, last revised on November 24th, 2020, as covenants and conditions of the approval.
Motion by Mr. Smith,
I second that motion.
second by Ms. Dunn. Mr. Zarcone,
I vote aye.
Mr. Walutis,
Aye.
Mr. Rose.
I vote aye.
Chair votes aye, motion carries 6-0. Site plan with variance BJ's Gas Station at Belport, secret determination.
Mr. Chairman, make a motion for a negative declaration.
I second that motion.
That was Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Okay, motion by Mr. Smith, second by Ms. Dunn. Mr. Zarcone,
I vote aye.
Mr. Walutis,
Aye.
Mr. Rose.
Aye.
Chair votes aye, motion carries 6-0. I need a motion on the application.
Mr. Chairman, make a motion to approve this application to construct a new gas station at Belport with staff recommendations 1 through 9, last revised November 25th, 2020, and to approve a variance for arterial buffer and setbacks.
Did we do a neg deck on this one, on the second?
Yeah, yes, we did.
All right, sorry.
It was by Mr. Smith and Ms. Dunn.
Thank you.
Okay, is that your motion, Mr. Smith?
Yes, it is.
Okay, motion by Mr. Smith,
Second.
second by Ms. Dunn. Mr. Zarcone,
I vote aye.
Mr. Walutis,
Aye.
Mr. Rose.
Aye.
And chair votes aye. Motion carries 6-0. I need a motion to hold item number 10 to a date certain of March 22nd.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to hold this matter to a date certain of March 22nd, 2021.
Motion by Ms. Dunn,
I'll second that
Second.
motion.
By Richard Smith.
okay, motion to hold this to a date certain of March 22nd, second by Mr. Zarcone. Mr. Walutis,
Aye.
Mr. Smith,
Aye.
Mr. Rose.
I vote aye.
Chair
Wait a
votes aye.
second. Wait a minute. Brixmore?
No,
No,
number 10.
I'm
I'm
getting there
sorry.
now.
It's on the other page and I got confused.
That was 10. All right, now we're on Brixmore. Item number 11 is a motion to hold this to a date certain of January 25th.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, make a motion to hold this hearing till March 25th.
And I second that
2021.
motion.
Seconded by Ms. Dunn. Mr. Zarcone,
I vote aye.
Mr. Walutis,
Aye.
Mr. Rose.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Motion carried 6-0. Item 13, Warren Avenue Plaza LLC at Ronkonkoma.
12.
Mr. Chair, we're up to 13?
No,
No,
we're on
12.
12.
Well,
Oh, the page is on. Wait a second. Oh, I'm sorry. Corinna Court Estates in Medford, item number 12.
Mr.
Neg deck.
John Rose, I'll make a motion to adopt the negative declaration.
Motion for a neg deck by Mr. Rose,
Second, Richard Smith.
second by Mr. Smith. Mr. Zarcone,
I vote aye.
Mr. Walutis,
I vote aye.
Mr. Rose.
Aye. Aye.
This motion.
I'm sorry.
Aye.
Ms. Dunn Aye. And chair votes aye, motion carries 6-0. Any motion on the application?
Mr. Chairman, John Rose will make a further motion to approve the applicant's request for a 13-lot preliminary subdivision using cluster treatment with 7.37 acre dedication to the town of Brookhaven, along with all staff recommendations numbering 1 through 26, last revised on 12/10/2020 as covenants and conditions of the approval.
Motion by Mr. Rose,
Second, Richard Smith.
second by Mr. Smith. Mr. Zarcone,
I vote aye.
Mr. Walutis,
Aye.
Ms. Dunn,
Aye.
chair votes aye, motion carries 6-0. Item 13, Warren Avenue Plaza LLC at Ronkonkoma.
I don't believe we need a declaration on this one.
No.
No, it's a facade.
Okay, I'm gonna make a motion to approve this application with staff recommendations, but I'd like to read the staff recommendations. There are 3 of them. 1, denial of plans submitted October 1st, 2020. Number 2, submit detailed drawings depicting the rooftop screening as shown on the color renderings presented to the board at the February 10th, 2020 public hearing. And number 3, all other conditions of the February 19th, 2020 planning board conditional approval letter remain in effect.
Okay, I have a motion by Mr. Smith,
Second.
second by Ms. Dunn. Mr. Zarcone,
I vote aye.
Mr. Walutis,
Aye.
Mr. Rose,
Aye.
chair votes aye, motion carries 6-0. Item 14, MD 365 at Patchogue.
Staying on the calendar.
I'm sorry.
It's staying.
Oh, sorry, that's right. And you all moving and storage, item number 15. That's
That's
from
gonna
the
stay on
zoning board.
the BZA.
Okay, is there anything else the board would like to discuss before we adjourn? If not, stay safe and see you soon. I need a motion to adjourn.
Chairman, I make a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn by Mr. Zarcone,
Second by Mr. Walutis.
second by Mr. Walutis. Mr. Smith,
Aye.
Mr. Rose,
Aye.
Ms. Dunn,
Aye.
chair votes aye, meeting adjourned. Thank you.